achieve success with global.media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with global.media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Hi everyone, welcome. Yes, we are live with another show about something to do with menopause. Welcome everyone. I hope the chat and the comments work because we usually have technical difficulties, but that's okay. As Paulette said, we'll just keep it rolling. We'll keep it moving. If everything goes perfect, it'll be a weird day for us. So, welcome everyone. What I will do is let my co-hosts introduce themselves briefly, and then we'll get the show started. So let me pass it to Paulette, who I have missed. I know I saw you last week, but it's not enough.
Oh, bless you.
It's never enough.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. I've been through the mill somewhat. I've had 2 months of ill health. I had pneumonia, just like the Pope, except as I said before, they weren't all praying for me, which is why it took so long for me to get better. But I'm still struggling. So my voice does go, as Annie will tell you. You'll get a crackle and then there'll be like, and there'll be nothing there. But listen, it's really good to be here. I love Lisa to pieces. I love the topic. I love the people that visit the room. So, and April, absolutely love to be with you. So, and any you'll do. So, I see enough of Annie's face, believe me. So, I'm very grateful to be here. And over to you, April.
Okay, I got to unmute myself. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with everyone. And it's just all about bringing energy back to ourselves, whether you're going through a change or a shift in your life. And this is what we're here to talk about. So I'm all about energy, biodynamic breath work, getting that breathing in, Reiki support, just really bringing us back to ourselves, because when we're in that state, this is where healing can begin. So that's just a little bit about me, and I'm throwing the baton over to Annie.
Yes, thank you so much. So a lot of our friends are here. Sugar Daddy Kenny's here, as Kenny would be, of course. I do. We always wonder what Kenny's eating. Kenny says, "Hey, yeah." And same message goes to Noni Varani, our pepperoni as well. Thank you for being here. I see you too, Coach Ashif. Thank you for being here. Also, I see Noni and Peter. Welcome. There's many more people, except they're just not showing up on my StreamYard, which is part of the course. As Lisa says, we're used to technical difficulties these days. It's fine. We always cope. Who's here that's not on my StreamYard? Liana, I see you. Thank you so much. Linda, I see you as well. And Noah, welcome. Noah says, great initiative, Lisa. This sounds incredibly helpful for so many. Looking forward to learning from April. Paulette, we're not here. No one mentions us. How's Annie and Michelle? How's Annie and Paulette doing? Great to be here with you. Yes, no one cares. Okay, fine. It's all right. Look, I'm here just as furniture, really. If Lisa's here and Paulette's here, I'll be here. So there you are. If you want to tell me what you do, let's connect and tell me, and let's meet. Let me learn what you do and explore the possibilities. Otherwise, come to my book launch for Coach David on Friday. That's me. So who am I going to do the mic to? Lisa, you are our host.
My turn, I guess.
You are the only one left. Sorry about that.
Yes, the only one left.
Go for it.
Oh, welcome, everyone. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa Favec. I'm a dietitian. I get to say author now, author, educator, and coach for women's health issues. But I focus on that menopausal journey because we still don't have enough conversations about it. We don't have enough research about it. And there are many women and men who are still confused by what's going on, the symptoms, what to do about it. So this is why we meet every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, to have some aspect of menopause discussed, where we bring awareness and hopefully some solutions that you could take away and work with. Today, we are blessed to have April with us because we're talking about relaxation when we're stressed. And I think I don't know anyone in this world who is not stressed about something, whether it's financial issues, politics, work. A lot of us losing jobs, having to change jobs, aging parents, children, our own health issues. So we're stressed about something. And we know inherently that stress isn't good, but the difficult parts may be what to do about it. So what I wanted to do is share a little info as to why stress is crucial for menopausal women to look at. And then I'll invite April to share some techniques as to how we can reduce our stress. So let me bring up my notes because, I'm also in menopause and I do have brain fog. So let me just make sure that I focus on everything. So when it comes to stress, stress affects every aspect of our lives, every aspect of our being, how we digest food, how we focus and concentrate, our emotions, stress, being in stressful situations for short periods can be a good thing. It helps us to operate better. We may finish our projects faster. But when we're in chronic stress, that's the issue. When we're always in stress, that's the issue. So stress releases hormones that send messages to the body to do things it's supposed to. But when we're chronically stressed, cortisol, for example, remains always high. That means we're not digesting food properly, which means we're not absorbing nutrients properly, and it affects every aspect of our body. So it means that we have more uncontrolled blood sugars, uncontrolled blood pressures, cholesterol issues. Then we become more at risk for things like heart disease, certain cancers. It affects our kidneys, it affects our brain. So especially for the menopausal woman who already has issues with fluctuating hormones and dropping estrogen, and already suffering from things like hot flashes or the night sweats, or cognitive issues or anxiety or depression, to put stress on top of that constantly, day in, day out, affects us negatively. So this is why I wanted to have this conversation. We're moving into the second quarter of the year. It's already April, and we have April here. So I think that's a good omen where she can shed some light on, okay, we're moving into the second quarter of the year. How do we deal with stress? How do we relax? What are some easy things we can do right away? So April, let me pass it to you to get the conversation started. When you're talking to your clients, what do they tell you when it comes to stress? What kind of conversations are you having with them?
Oh, just as you mentioned, Lisa, it just seems like everyone is in this heightened state. There's been so much happening, and I call it the global shift, that happened back in 2020. I think any can appreciate that. And it's just us being aware of those thoughts. We have these repetitive thoughts that come in, and our bodies are responding to those thoughts. So when we're aware of those ruminating thoughts about, I'm just so stressed and I can't get enough sleep, or whatever that is happening in our minds, which I'm not saying it's not true, although I say, how do you want to feel? And some people might get a little off put by that, saying, well, what do you mean? I can't just shift out of this. This momentum is happening. This feeling and sensation is real in my body. And it is. It is because our nervous system, as you so perfectly described, right, that chronic stress that happening in our bodies, it's been hijacked. So when we can find little gaps, little ways to just break that a little bit, ease our minds, whether it is going out in nature, right? Taking a walk. I found when I was going through all the hot flashes and things with menopause, I literally would put my hand on the counter. I would feel the coolness of the counter, and I would just take a breath and focus on the cool sensation beneath my hand, or removing my socks and shoes, feeling the floor. It's all about being back in our bodies, having that embodied experience, even when we are experiencing those hot flashes, those racing thoughts and things. This is getting us back in, relaxing that sympathetic nervous system, switching it to the parasympathetic. This is where the rest and digest, where healing can happen, but also it's most important that we know we're in control of these crazy thoughts and emotions that are happening too, right? It does not happen. It's just like a whirlwind that comes in and tends to, take us on that undertow. And before we know it, we're somewhere where we don't want to be. And it just starts with the awareness of the thoughts. What can I do right now in this moment to shift it just a little bit? And that's where we find a little bit more ease. Yeah.
I like what you said there about shifting it just a little bit, because a lot of times clients, or you're looking at social media, and you think that you have to do a complete shift. It's either I'm happy or I'm not. It's like either it's off or it's on. It's black or it's white. And emotions are so much more than that, and so much more complex. And then for women in menopause, yes, there are some women who may be struggling with 2 or 3 symptoms and can manage, but there are over 100 symptoms of menopause. And if you're drowning in 60, 70 symptoms at one time, it can be really challenging to feel like I can do something about it. And this is where maybe talking to a coach will help, because you can feel like there's no way out, but talking to someone who can help you to move that thought process, to change that mindset where, okay, I don't feel 100%, but if I get out of bed today, that's a win. And that's me shifting a little bit. And that's, I love how you phrase that. How do I get to feel? How do I want to feel? It's just about shifting a little bit. Paulette, I know you're working in the mental health space as well. What are your thoughts on what April just shared before we move on?
Oh, I think she's spot on. But I'll give you an example. I had a lady phone me and ask if I talked to their daughter. She's 15. She'll be doing her GCSEs. She should be studying. She should be in a room working, and she knows that she's on Instagram, and they just lose hours going down rabbit holes from one thing to the next. And when the mum says, how long have you been on it? About 10 minutes. And she's like, I know it's not 10 minutes because I came in earlier and you was on your phone. So you've been on it at least an hour. No, I haven't. So there was this big sort of debacle going on. She said, can you just have a word with her? And so I just said to her, what is the most important thing to you right now? And she said, I get good exam results. I said, why? She said, because I want to stay on the 6th form. So I said, right, well, let's just put the goal in the sky. That's 6th form. Why do you want to go to 6th form? Because I want to go to university. Well, let's put the next cloud up in the sky of university. Let's just say you spend all your time on that phone. Are you going to reach either one of those 2 goals? She looked me straight in the eye and she went, no. So I said, is your mum being unreasonable? No. I said, so what you want to do is this. When you need a 5-minute break, take yourself outside, Set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes. Be generous. Give yourself 10 minutes. Set a timer. Go on Instagram. Have your 10 minutes with your friends. When the timer goes off, you go back indoors and you get on with the work. She went, what a good idea. She said, I'll do that. I might even grab something to eat on the way through. And I said, great idea. Grab some food, grab a sandwich, whatever, make yourself a drink. I said, this is what you call taking control. And she said, well, you're taking control. I said, no, not me. You're taking control. You've decided on the goal. You've set your goal. Now let's make the mindset reflect the goal. And she was like, okay, are we done? I'm like, why? She said, I want to get back to work. And I was like, okay, bye. Her mom came on the phone. She went, do you have a magic wand? I was like, no, I don't have a magic wand. But if you can just set the intention and the goal and the mindset and the understanding that they are in control, it's so much easier for you to take the stress away because they take the stress away, not because you do, because they do. So that's how I always try to work. I try to help people see the stress, understand why it's there, and say to themselves, okay, what can I do to reduce it? Can I take control over the stress rather than the stress control me? That's just the way I tend to work. And with this particular young lady, the mum thought I had a magic wand and I didn't, but I did ask her not to give my name to any more clients because I don't want any more. But, it was a lovely idea. But yeah, so that's an idea. That's an example of how reframing, setting the intention, and just trying to take that pressure off, because it's so easy to go down a rabbit hole with those things and not realize you've wasted 2 hours, but people do it all the time. So yeah, that was something to mention anyway.
I love that. I love that you kept asking her why, which is what, well, a lot of coaches, we know what to do with our clients. Just keep asking them why so that they come up with why it's important to them, because you're not doing it for me. The changes aren't about the coach or pleasing the coach or making them happy. It's about you. It's about moving yourself forward to the life that you desire. So just by asking her why, she came up with, oh, okay, this is why it's important and this is why it's important. So she was able to come up with an answer and then realize, oh, maybe talking to you is also wasting a bit of time. I need to go back. So I just love that story. And oh my goodness, is any there I'm seeing? You can't be under the bed because this is not a bad topic. Where are you? Where did he go? Oh, there he is.
If I'm here. I'm always here, right?
Yes, I know. I like harassing you. I do this. It's only once every 2 weeks I could harass you, man. Come on. I'm seeing some new comments.
That's not true. You know that's not true as well. You harass me every day.
Don't tell people. Come on.
Claudia, welcome. We haven't seen you for a while. I'm so glad you're back. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. There's so many other amazing people. Dr. Marcia has a point I'm going to get to in a minute. So Wendy, welcome. Barbara as well. Thank you for being here. So author Christine, glad you're here. Lisa, are you an international bestseller author? Are you international bestseller or
yes,
are you
in a co-author in 3 books. Yes,
excellent.
3 different books. So yeah.
2025 has started off well, right? And I like this comment by Dr. Marcia. She says, chronic stress or fatigue requires surrender. Surrender means accepting the things you cannot change. Take everything one step at a time. Prepare for unexpected and keeping out everything and everyone that should not be let in. I agree. That's, I suppose, look, I think stress is a weird one for me because I think I agree with everything you've all said. Of course I do. It's a choice we make to be stressed. The words I never say to myself is I'm stressed. I'm never stressed. So there you go. Even if it kills me, I'll still do it, right? If I'm up all night, so what? What I won't say is to my brain, you're stressed. That's a problem. So because I think it's a choice that we make to take things that way or not. And Dr. Marcia says, live in the present and set limits on what you can do. Because you can't do already, so what you can't do already, establish a well-needed boundary or a plan, Dr. Marcia, or a plan. That makes life a bit, like Paulette just said, that making a plan makes life a bit easier, right? It will get you there in the end. There's no point letting things ruminate in your brain, as if it's paying you rent. That's what I refuse to do. And sometimes I'm just wrong because I'm ignorant. I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I'll start late. These are all any things, right? I'm not going to take this. Oh, I need to. No, I don't need to do anything. I do what I choose to do. Especially midlife, Lisa. Now I'm getting old. Now I'm 50. I'm more ignorant now than I ever was. I'm more about any. It's my joy I'm looking for more than anyone else's joy. If work doesn't help me, I will leave. I did leave. So, so you have to make choices and truly, learn to look after ourselves, first of all. Janice, I think you're being sarcastic about Paulette and the mum, as if the mum wasn't on the phone herself. I wonder. The double talk and double now thinking that we'll do for our kids. It's like an illusion, right? No one's ever going to see us. Yes, prioritizing thoughts builds a mindset. I agree. Welcome, Michelle B. Glad you're here. We love you too. Can I sit down again now, Lisa? Quietly.
Sure, you can sit quietly and wait to be called on upon again. I liked Janice's comment. Sometimes hearing a message from someone else makes it resonate with you. And I think that's because I'm sure the mom was saying kind of the same thing. But hearing it from someone else, and this is why working with coaches can be so beneficial, because we have different methods that if something doesn't work for one person, we can switch it up and find what works for you in a shorter space of time. So yeah, so I love that comment. So April, so we know we're stressed. We know we're going to get stressed. So you talked about walking in nature, which I thought was a great place if you can do that. I know for many of us it's still freezing cold. We're still getting snow. I have a client who wants to get out, wants to walk, but everything is just the snowstorm after snowstorm. So if I can't walk in nature, what are some other things that I can do today or tomorrow to reduce my stress?
Oh, there's so many opportunities. We just need to be more creative, right? So that looks like maybe taking a longer shower, just being with the water, thinking about water even, there's just two molecules there. How incredible is that sustains the earth, that sustains our bodies, just watching the water flow over our bodies, and just tell yourself the stress or whatever you're saying, your mind likes to say to you, it's just washing over me and down the drain. And just really feel the flow of the water over your body, that you're alive in this moment, and being appreciative and grateful. That'll help ease that as well. Or, a nice hot bath with your favorite Epsom salts. That's a really good way to revitalize. Or if you are going through the hot flashes, and I do this, get in a cold shower. Feel that really brings you alive, right? It's like, whoo, I can feel that, the coolness. And that also is a good way to reset the vagus nerve too. So I won't go too much into that, but that's curious, right? If you're curious to hear more about that, Google that about vagal toning. That's incredible too for menopause or any type of stress that people go through, because it is about being embodied. The stress, the anxiety, whatever these emotions really heighten us, and it takes us out of our bodies. We're really up in our heads because we're trying to protect ourselves. That's the mind's job, right? It's the amygdala, right, of the fight, flight, freeze. And it's trying to find a way, right, to protect, to not feel what we don't want to feel, and that it's kind of counterproductive there, right? As this is what we're needing to, is to allow ourselves to feel and accept, as who was it? Dr. Marcia had said, right? Accept where we're at, accept these emotions and sensations that are showing up, because whatever you resist persists, and it just kind of compounds it. So as Paulette was sharing, I'm right there with you, sister, about putting your attention on your intention. What is it that I'm intending? And then direct your attention towards that goal, as you talked about, Lisa. I want to feel better. I want to feel more joyful, or I just want to have more of peace of mind, whatever that is. But where is our attention on it? And when we evoke that, when we are in that space of pause, asking ourselves, that is also, breaking that link to those repetitive thoughts. And here we are back at the choice, right? Making choices of how we want to feel. And I think the feeling is really important, because we can make a laundry list of things to do to get us there, but really, how do we want to feel in the moment as we are on this journey?
Yeah, a lot of a lot of nuggets in what you said there. So I love, well, it goes back to what Dr. Marcia was saying. Sometimes just giving yourself grace to accept the things that we can't change. It doesn't make sense stressing over something that you have no control over. And I think for a lot of us women, we try to control everything around us and everyone around us. We have our opinions on it should be done this way, it should be done the right way, and our way is the right way. And if it's not done in that way, in that time frame, it stresses us out. I remember an argument I used to have with my mom about how I would wash wares, the dishes. In Caribbean households, a lot of times women, the moms, we wash wares right away. They must have a clean kitchen. And for me, but they would spend a lot of time scrubbing and scrubbing to get stuff done. And I would be like, why am I wasting time scrubbing and scrubbing? If I just let it soak for a couple hours, I would spend less time in the kitchen. But my mom didn't understand that, right? Because it had to be done her way, which was how her mom did it. So she couldn't conceptualize leaving dishes in the sink, and she would get so stressed and so frustrated. And sometimes I kind of did it for spite, because it just kind of, I was like, why are you stressing out over this? In the grand scheme of things, it's going to get done. Like, relax. And a lot of times I'm talking to my clients and they get stressed out over these little things. And in the grand scheme of things, those things don't matter. So just giving yourself that grace to see, like, okay, this is what I can change. This is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to set my intention. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. That's what I'm going to focus on. How do I get there? I'm going to not take the stressful route. I'm not going to take on anybody else. What they do is what they do. It's going to get done. And if it doesn't get done, okay, nobody's going to die. And I'm going to focus on that today. And when those negative thoughts come in, I like how you you talked about letting the water wash away, literally wash it away. For me, it's as soon as I get those negative thoughts, because I've been doing this for a while, so it's not easy. It takes practice, but I literally, in my mind, imagine myself pushing the thoughts away, like I'm pushing it away, or I'm erasing it. So I imagine myself with like a blackboard, and I'm erasing those thoughts. And it takes practice, but now I've done it so many times. The length of time I'm stressed thinking about that is reduced considerably, because I've practiced those things. And I know, okay, if it doesn't get done, it's okay. I'm going to focus on one or two things that must get done. If I get those two things, today was a win. And everything else is cream on the cake, right? I see Paulette shaking her head. Anything you want to add?
Sorry, I was on mute. I was agreeing with you. I think one of the therapy sessions we used to give was the rucksack is a great example. So if you imagine menopause as a rucksack, okay? So you're carrying this rucksack on your back and you add hot sweats, chuck it in. Okay, I can deal with it. I can deal with that. Right? Don't put anything else in because I won't cope, right? And then you put something else in the rucksack. And then you put and before you know where you are, you start to go, I can't cope, I can't cope. And the stress levels start to raise. And all you need to really do is say to yourself, hang on a minute. I'm not putting that in. That's coming out. I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting today that I'm going to have a headache. Even though I've had a headache every day for the last 7 days, today I'm not believing I'm going to have a headache. So I'm taking the headache out the rucksack, putting the headache over there for now. Like you said, pushing it away. So now I've just got the hot sweats and maybe the mood swings. Okay. Now I was grumpy yesterday and I upset someone. So I'm not accepting mood swings today. But we'll take mood swings out and we'll keep the hot sweats. Or should we keep mood swings? No, we'll get rid of the mood swings because we upset someone yesterday. So out comes the mood swings. We put it to one side, push it away. And all you're carrying in your rucksack is the hot sweats. The hot sweats annoy you. They don't stress you out. So that means that you keep everything in your rucksack at an even keel. And that goes with everything in life. Doesn't matter what you're putting in your rucksack, whether it's business issues, whether it's technical problems, whether it's a machine's not working, a car's not working, kids' schools, whatever it is, whatever you put in that rucksack of your own weighs you down. And it gets heavier and heavier. The stress levels go up and up, and we realize we can't cope. So the least you put in the rucksack and you push away and say, tomorrow I'll deal with you. I'll deal with the fatigue tomorrow, but today is hot sweats. That's it, no more. And it's as you said, it's surprising how with intention you can say, I'm not accepting it. I'm not having it. And when you really are that ambitious about your decisions, you can win. And you can walk around with your rucksack with your hot sweats and go, yeah, okay, I've got the hot sweats, but that I can deal with, right? And I think it's really a clever way where people visualize, because it's about visualization as well. If you're visualizing a rucksack and you imagine putting all this stuff in, it's not surprising your stress levels go through the roof. So if you can visualize taking it out, you're also taking the stress levels down. So it's a great way to visualize that decision as to what you will and what you won't accept. Another one I've used is being a tennis court, balls coming at you, batting them out the court. If it's a young person, they really enjoy that, and I said, don't accept it. And they bat the thing out the court and they go, yeah, I got rid of it. I aced it. And they actually feel as if they're getting rid of things that were coming at them. And I say, we have to deal with it, but not today. We'll look at that one tomorrow or next week. And it's just much easier to eat. What do they say about an elephant? How do you eat it? In small bits. You don't try it. It's a fact, isn't it? So I hope those ideas are useful.
Very much so, very much so. And it's not, I don't want people to walk away thinking that we're not validating what you're going through. Like I said, if you're dealing with 60, 70 symptoms out of the 100, they're there. But we're talking about that mindset shift about, okay, what am I going to deal with today? I can't focus on all 70. I literally feel like I'm drowning. I won't feel to get out of bed. I won't talk to my partner. I won't deal with my kids. And that's not the road we want to be on. As April was saying before, what do we want for ourselves? What are we going to focus on? So what are we going to focus on today? Okay, today the hot flashes are what really I'm struggling with. Okay, so let's find ways to deal with that. And everything else we'll deal with tomorrow. We'll tackle that one tomorrow. It's not as it's not there, and it's not that it's going to be easy. And it's just saying, okay, well, it's just hot flashes today, and the other ones aren't there still, right? But constantly talking, that self-talk and that practice, where okay, we're going to deal with one thing at a time. Maybe another one will come up, and we're just going to bat it away. And it may come up 20 times in an hour. And every time it comes up, we're just going to bat it away because we're not going to focus on you. We're going to focus on those hot flashes and see what we can do to alleviate those symptoms. So I really like that we have different tools. Not everything is going to work for everybody. And it's going to take practice. It's going to take probably a month for you to get the hang of it, or 2 months, maybe 3 months to get the hang of it. And that's okay. That's okay. And my friend Annie is back. Because I know I'm seeing comments coming left, right, and center.
Because you're ignoring my comments, so I might as well.
No, I'm not ignoring you. I'm never ignoring you.
I'm not sure about the ice bath. I mean, sounds a bit extreme. Well, I haven't got a bath, so what can I say, right? I'll leave that alone. If it works for you, Michelle, you go with it. I like my warm shower, thanks. That's much easier. Yeah, so watch a comedy. I like that one, of course. Watch a film. Claudia says watch a film. I'm not going to watch a film. I fall asleep. Does that count as stress relief? I suppose so.
Yeah, I think so.
If it stops
whatever's going to take your mind off of the stress works. Yeah.
And Christy says bubble bath sound good. Welcome, Lisa. Another Lisa. Oh, there's more than one Lisa in the world. Imagine that. Now there's only one Lisa F, and there's one Lisa B, so that's all right. I'll take that. So Janice says a number of times she said to people, no one's gonna die. Yeah, she got paid for it. I'm sure she'll be rich by now. Same as you, Paulette. I missed that one. So Ashley says, drop the devices and pick up something else that brings value to yourself. We're our own soulmates. I agree. And it's easy a case of just turning off and just refusing to accept the stress that comes with a situation. Just say no. I'm not having it. Cyrus, Mr. Podcast Guy, glad you're here. Thanks so much for joining us. So Lisa says, I like the rucksack approach. Yeah, well, Paulette's a genius sometimes. In between Jack and Water books. Michelle's trying to figure out her laptop. Well, isn't this a laptop, Michelle? You got a lifetime to figure it out. You ain't got to do it all in a day, right? It's not mood swings, Paulette. It's vibe swapping. Yeah. It's mood swing, Cyrus. Being at war with the world doesn't really vibe swapping. Okay, we have to like that, right? Language would change. And Usman, welcome. Great to see you. Glad you're here. So Adrian, we'll see you as well. Thank you so much for being here. So it's not the load that breaks us down, is where we can. No, this is the key to that, I think, for me. It's not what happens that's the problem. It's how we respond to it and how we choose to take it on. At best of times, just say no. It's not my bag. I'm not carrying it. Yeah, that's Paulette's trick. And Henry, we see you as well. Thank you for joining us. If you're here and you want to join the studio, please feel free. Send me a DM. So just for you, Lisa. It's not true. I do it for everyone, Lisa. Sorry. I'm going to send everyone in the audience a DM saying with the StreamYard link, so you can join the studio if you want to join us. How's that? So we'd love to hear your thoughts and your questions for April and for Lisa and Paulette. So do join us. Don't be shy. And join my YouTube as well while you're there. Yeah. Okay. Just saying. Subtly. With a subtle hint, we call it, right? I'll leave that alone. Go on, Lisa. I give the mic back to you.
Oh, very subtle, very subtle. So we talked. Oh gosh, there's something you said, and this is why I must write things down because it just went out of my head.
It's in the comment. It's in the comments somewhere, Lisa. Just look for the comments, and yeah, I'm sure that
Yeah, I know
you
it's
find it
something I
somewhere.
saw.
I think it was it's not the load that breaks us down, it's the way we carry it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yes. And I wanted
Oh,
to speak to that if that's
Yeah,
okay.
please,
please.
yes.
So exactly, it's there's going to be things that are happening around us and we make a choice, right? If it's not ours, we don't have to carry it. But there are things, right, within ourselves that we do carry. And when we have the awareness that I talked about in the beginning, the awareness of what we're telling ourselves and the pressures that we put on ourselves about doing things a certain way, as cleaning the kitchen. Lisa, I can raise my hand to that, about putting that pressure about cleaning the kitchen, but also having the awareness of how, with menopause, how these emotions, how the sensations in the body are coming up, and reminding ourselves that this is change. This is how my body is processing this. This might be a chemical imbalance, and now I'm aware of it. I can reach out to Lisa, somebody who can direct me in the right, for nutrition, for herbs, or, ways to calm the mind. It's so important that we appreciate, even in the discomfort, that we're having these experiences. This is showing up for me because my body's shifting and I might feel a little wonky. This might be, uncharted territory for me. Although I know that I have these resources, these people, different ways to appreciate it, accept it, and approach it. So that way it doesn't come like the demon menopause, that a lot of women just right away, oh, this is horrible, this is terrible, I can't, blah, 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 all the things they talk about that they can't do, instead of shifting it to, okay, this is where I'm at. What resources do I have? It's empowerment. And this is about building your emotional intelligence, about yourself, about your body, and how it's been working for you this whole time. Our bodies are just amazing. And that's why I love working with people with the biodynamic breath work too, is so that way they find ways to ease those tensions, the stress, by being in a more embodied state and witnessing what's showing up for them. This is how we melt those layers and accept it and move through it, so we don't feel that we're carrying all that load on our backs. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love what you said there. So a lot of times, yeah, you're right. You enter into menopause and you're suddenly just negative about it. I used to run marathons. I used to not gain weight every time I eat, and we focus on the negative things. And menopause will happen whether we want it or not. It's going to happen. Once we're on this side of the grass, once we're alive, we're going to be in menopause. And once you go into postmenopause, you're in postmenopause for the rest of your life until you die. Now, does that mean you're going to have debilitating symptoms until you die? No. But we're classified as postmenopausal. So it's something that whether we want it or not, it's going to be there. So it's a time to, whether you call it the second half, the new normal, whatever word you want to give to this stage, we have to find ways to cope with what we're going through, or to find ways to bring joy back to our lives. So what do you want for this second half? What do you want for this new chapter? What are you really struggling with? What do you want to work on? Is it energy levels? Is it sleep? Is it physical symptoms? Is it more emotional symptoms? What are you really struggling with? And what do you get to do? What choices do you get to make to live that better life? So, okay, I'm not sleeping well. Maybe I need to stop that scroll, because every time I scroll, I pick up news reports that depress me. What I've started doing is especially when I get these videos, I don't look at the video, I watch the comments first. And as soon as I see the comments negative or this is happening, I don't watch the video, because I'm a person where I internalize a lot. I have strong intuition, what do you call it, empath, there are many names for it. But that negativity I hold on to, and I process and process and process. So there's certain things that I don't watch. There's certain news reports I don't listen to, certain sites that I don't go on, especially if I have to see a client next or I have to give a lecture. I need to stay positive so that I can extend that positivity and give that message to who needs to hear it. So I can't have these negative thoughts and videos running through my mind. So, and I know a lot of us to pass the time, we just scroll, and it does feel like 10 minutes. So Paulette, when she said 10 minutes, I totally leave her. Because for me, it's just like, oh, it's just half an hour. And when I look up, no, 2 hours has passed, girlie. What are you doing? So to pass that time, I choose other ways. Now I'm reading more motivational books. I set that timer. Okay, I'm going to spend half an hour scrolling on TikTok, but I'm going to focus on different things. I'm going to look for maybe new recipes, or I'm going to look for makeup tips or something outside of what I usually do. I'm going to pick and choose what I focus on, because I know for myself, once I go down that road, it's going to stay with me, and I'm going to go down that spiral, and it's not going to be good for myself or for anybody around me. It's going to affect me. I'm going to get those mood swings. And once I go negative, the way you experience menopausal symptoms gets harder. That's proven. So the more positive you are, the less those menopausal symptoms affect you. So for anyone listening live, anyone listening on a replay, I just want to encourage you to pick and be intentional about who you're surrounding yourselves with, what you're watching, what you're eating, how you're sleeping, because everything is intertwined. As somebody, Paulette, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say
Please.
that positivity is so important. Positivity in everything. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. If we take a positive attitude towards it, a positive intention, then you're going to have far more success. But not only that, you're going to feel so much better about it. I had a lady say to me, I don't like my husband anymore. I said, I'm sorry. She said, I just don't like him. Everything about him annoys me. I was like, but you've been really happily married for years, like 20 years. What suddenly has happened? And she's like, he's got really smelly feet. I said, has he not always had smelly feet? Yes, but it didn't used to bother me. And I was like, okay, so what are you telling him? Got to wash his feet, soak his feet. What do you do? Tell him what he needs to do. And then it was like, I've seen him sit, he sits there picking his nose. He thinks I can't see him, but he's picking his nose. And I'm like, has he always done that? Yeah. Well, then why does it annoy you now, but it didn't annoy you before? I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but something has happened to me that's changed, right? And I was looking at this woman, and it was like, whoa. And I was like writing things down, and I suddenly started to giggle. And she said, "It's not funny, you know." I said, "No, no, no, no. Look at what I've written." And I'd written smelly feet, picking his nose, and farting. And I just thought, if you look at any of my books ever, I have never written those 3 words in a room, in a meeting with a person before in my life. I'm writing mental notes of this meeting, but actually the truth of it is you change. And what you accept and what you thought was okay suddenly isn't, because your mind is so stressed with the dealing with the menopause and dealing with all these symptoms that you suddenly start noticing things that otherwise passed you by. And I think that's something we should really think about as well. It's not just about the stress of the world and what's going on in different countries. It's what's going on in your own home that adds to your stress levels. And for me, this woman, I was like, we were both giggling and laughing. And it was so great that she was laughing and giggling. And I said, is that everything? Is there anything else to add? Because I don't think I can cope with him anymore. And she started giggling and laughing. And she said, if that's all I've got to worry about, she said, what's wrong with me? And I was like, wow, wow, what a lesson, right? So it's not actually about sometimes, it's not the small things that bother you that you think send you over the edge. It's accepting that you have changed, that you are now noticing things you didn't notice before because your hormones are all over the place. You're in a slightly different place mentally, and suddenly everything that was acceptable or was normal, your new normal, is different. And just saying to somebody, can you do that in the bathroom? You know, could you just wash your feet a few more times a week, please? Or can you change your socks more often or whatever? You know, and it honestly, she laughed, she left she never booked another session, didn't need to, because she realized that actually it was herself that she had to go and look inside and say, why am I feeling like this? And actually, it's all the other things that are going on with me and my hormones that are making me perhaps very particular, a little bit more difficult. So if you'd like to add to that one, anyone, please feel free.
Yeah, I was just, as soon as you started those symptoms, I was like, yeah, that's menopause. And actually, when we're entering into menopause, a lot of women get very sensitive to smells and very sensitive to sounds. So things that wouldn't bother you, that you wouldn't have noticed or just accepted before, your senses actually get sort of heightened. So it becomes really repulsive. So I'm out, like, when you were talking, I was like, okay, yeah, not surprised at all. So for example, I could stay in this room and if a pipe is dripping 2 rooms down, I hear it. And people around me are like, what are you hearing? And I have to go look because it's bothering me because it's constant and I'm hearing it. A lot of women talk about smelling things that are going bad or rotting. And food might be now starting to turn and nobody else is picking it up. But they have gotten, because of the hormone changes, so sensitive to smells and sounds and sight and light and everything else that they're picking up these things. And of course, it starts to irritate them because it's just sensory inputs coming in from all over. So this is why when I'm counseling, I don't just counsel the woman in menopause, I counsel the family. Because the husband now has to understand, yes, okay, she may say she hates you, she wants to divorce you, but that's just the hormones talking. You now have to understand, okay, she's very sensitive now. All these things she's actually picking up and it's annoying her. So yeah, if a change can be go into the bathroom and do your self-care, do that. Let your children understand what you're going through. So when you argue with them or you trip or you have those mood swings, they know, okay, it's not really mommy, it's the menopause talking. But mommy has to know to come back and apologize because she's understanding, okay, it was the mood swing. Yes, it's not the best way to handle it, but it happened. It happens, it's okay. Give yourself grace, it happens. But now come back and deal with that situation. So I have clients who I've given them a password or a keyword. Okay, I'm coming home and I'm very moody. Text them pineapple. So stay clear away from me. When I come through the door, I'm going straight to my bedroom. I'm going to lock myself in the bedroom and calm down. It may take an hour or two, but don't come and ask me for anything. Don't come and talk to me about anything. I need to de-stress. I need to get back to my normal because of the hormones. You all sort yourself out for a bit, and then when I come out, we could have the conversation. But it's that awareness that we need to give to people, and that's why I do these shows every 2 weeks, because women don't know that they're going through this. Men don't understand that this is what happens, and they think, okay, they're women and their lives are going crazy. No, they're literally senses have changed. So we need to now adapt. We need to now figure out, okay, how are we going to operate so that everybody's happy? Because yes, divorces go up more during menopause, and we want to know why. These are the things why, because we can't live with our partners anymore. And instead of, okay, understanding the situation and finding ways to deal with it, divorce rates are going up. So this is why we need to have the conversation. And you're on mute. You're muted again.
I like to talk to myself.
Apparently.
Right, I think Ashif's comments on screen, self-awareness or plus mindfulness equal to mindset. Says it's a journey of self-trust and interaction. Like that's a new word, interaction, right? Interaction, interaction. I'm liking that. I might steal it somewhere. Yeah. We do 20 minutes with me. Is that mindfulness stuff? Okay, I hope so. Linda, welcome. Glad you're here. You're never late to the party, Linda. As long as you're here, I'm all right with that. Whatever time you join us, I always say beginning, middle, or end. Then please, we don't mind that. We appreciate you spending time with us. Margaret, you're in the studio, so we're going to give you the mic in a second. Glad you're here. Who else? Have I missed anyone? Hopefully not. Oh, Dr. CJ, welcome.
Yeah, Dr. CJ.
welcome. I don't know why you're not on my. No, you're meant to be on my screen. Yeah, there you are. What does CJ says? There you go, Lisa.
Yeah, so if the migraine is the focal point, that's all we're going to deal with today, and everything else goes out the door. So, yeah.
Mine is hearing right now. Yeah, so, and I didn't know about your super hearing in menopause. I have to say, I know a bit about your super sense of smell. And as Paulette was saying, my wife, she smells anything from outside the house. She's like, "What's wrong with you, woman?" Well, we'll get over it. We just laugh. We're always guilty. That's the important thing. We know we're guilty, so it's all right. Henry,
it's the same in pregnancy, isn't it, Lisa?
Yeah,
it's the same in pregnancy. You get those same heightened.
Yep.
I don't know, Janice. I think I feel for you. I don't mind. I don't care what my colleague, my more esteemed colleagues say. Hopefully it's a positive step for you. That's what I'll say, Janice, in my most diplomatic self. So Christine says thanks for the invite, Lisa. Heading to the next meeting. We're doing all right for time though. We're doing all right. Smelly feet, etc. Grandpa divorce. Yeah, grandpa's not having someone strung up and tied up to a lamppost and flogged mercilessly. Anyway, yes. Let's be kind. Let's be kind, shall we? Lisa, no, there's a Lisa. I'll let you introduce Margaret. I see the dentist has joined us as well. Welcome, dentist. Welcome, dentist. Thank you for joining us. Go on, Lisa. It's all yours.
Well, I see Margaret on stage. I didn't recognize the picture. It's a good thing you put her name at the bottom.
It's a very weird picture because there's a woman.
I had to look. It's artistic.
No,
I didn't recognize her at all.
It's not her. It's not Margaret. It's someone else. and you're looking at the back of them. I'm like, what's that? But it's not. Sorry, that's why I'm
going to let Margaret
look at it. Look, that's not. Is that Margaret? That is Margaret.
We'll let Margaret answer. I don't. It does look like her. But
Margaret. It could be Margaret.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Canadian AI fusion. I don't know.
It's me. Hi. I was waiting to hear from April, our beautiful friend. I haven't seen her in a while.
Oh, Margaret.
Hi, beautiful.
I wish I could see your whole face and not the side of your face. I think that's what Annie is getting at, right?
That's okay.
But I like that profile picture. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about, Margaret? I saw that you put something in the chat there. You were asking about physical and.
Yeah, when Paulette, hi, beautiful Paulette. I haven't seen you ladies in a while. So she mentioned, I was listening intently to that story of her friend's husband and wife, and how she went through that change, kind of wondering that physical and that mental, like, imbalance and stuff. And but I didn't know, like, they had, like, I think, Lisa, you were saying that through time at a certain stage, like, those smells affect you. So it's kind of like when you go, is it like similar to when you're like pregnant? Because I know when I was pregnant with my daughter, oh, I couldn't stand certain smells. I would want to
Yeah, I
gag.
guess you came in just before, sorry, just after we said it. Yeah, it's exactly like pregnancy. Yep.
Yeah. That was just, I don't know, that's kind of strange. But the topic that Annie had sent me was how to reduce some of those stress levels, and I just had a few ideas, if you don't mind me saying a couple. um
Sure, yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
really promoting right now. I'm in the point where I'm promoting a lot of playtime, because I think as we become adults, this is, we get to be stuffy, we get big egos, we get, because as you're growing, you're learning so much, you have so much wisdom, so much intellect, so much experience, right? That now we're just, we forget to play, right? And it's almost like a regression kind of thing. But some of the things, and I'm speaking, for myself, because I noticed I was doing that. And so what I started doing was I started playing with my daughter. Like, we started getting the Legos out. So we started doing that. And besides dancing, and stuff. But there's a thing called laughter therapy too that you can do that actually reduces those cortisone levels, that stress level, the stress hormone. So there's a lot of things, like, you can play, you can dance, you can, even if you can't get up and you're sitting down, you can do DIY crafts, and get really creative. You can do improv, you can do dress up, surprise adventures. You can do like something spontaneous. But if you're really like physical, and you're able to do like rock climbing, you're able to do like a nature scavenger, tree climbing, swinging, going to the park and playing, that's another thing that I do, is just like random acts of fun, and going to the park and going on the swing, and just kind of reminding her to play too. But I think that sometimes we forget to play because we're grown. And it doesn't matter how old you get, some adults like to play video games, that's another way of playtime. But it kind of helps you get away from and escape from the so stress and adulting, right? Another thing that I like to do is sensory immersion. And I actually also did the sensory immersion, like when you go outside in nature and you touch something like leaves and like the tree. I'm a tree hugger. Being like transparent right now. You go outside and you hug a tree, and right now, since everything is blooming, it's so beautiful, but doing like a lot of water play and energy connection and grounding, a lot of things like that, I think kind of helps to just playtime, do a lot of playtime, so you can kind of get away from all of the seriousness of everything, and kind of not takes ourselves so seriously sometimes, just to relax. So that was my little tips to relaxing.
I
Thank
love
you.
that, Margaret. That's perfect. Yeah, there's a lot of power in play. And exactly what you said, it takes us out of the stress and the pressures that we place upon ourselves as adults. We can learn so much from a 2-year old, right? They don't have that conditioning yet. And so being able to play with your dog, you know, do things that just gets you out of the normal routine is perfect. Thank you for sharing that. That was wonderful. So good to hear you.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to hand over the dogs to the wife and say, "You enjoy the dogs." We'll leave it to it. Ashif, you are my friend today, my friend. You are the one I love today. I'll come to you. I'll show people why in a second, my friend. You know, thank you for being here. Thank you for being honest as well. So Tracy says, you know, she might be wrong, but her hypothesis that some might just validate that they're divorced with menopause. Maybe. They do get mighty angry, mighty angry, mighty angry, and you know, it's why I love Ash's comments so much. CJ says thanks for these conversations. Right, they wonder what's Ash's comment. This is Ash's comment. I became more agreeable. Yes, whatever you want, darling. Yes, you're right. I know how it feels, Ash. I know I know how to live that life too. It's the most peaceful life we can get. You know, it saves us being stressed. We're just like, yeah, whatever you want. You know, you're right. Peace and quiet, and staying at work a bit more. Sometimes, well, it does work when you're nicer at home, I suppose. And you know, I wonder whether it's a case of we should have. You know, that's how we should be. That's how we could be at all times, rather than waiting for, you know, what feels like crisis moments before we turn nice. You know, from when you get married, my friend, just learn to say yes, darling. You are right, and mean it. Lisa hates that.
And minutes. I like that. I like that little addition. And
Yeah, I
minutes.
mean it.
That's
Yeah,
important.
it buys you peace. It buys you peace forever. That's nice.
Mhm.
It's a good thing. Yeah, they're loving your
Yeah.
profile picture, Margaret. Rightly so. Actually, if you're a star, my friend, you're a star.
Yeah, Ashif, this is why I know Leslie Flowers always talks about Ashif and his comments. Yes, I'm seeing and understanding why it's amazing. I'm so happy he's
Yeah.
here for this conversation.
Yeah. Henry said, to be precise, the action is the interaction, the dance between the always present positive energies and the always present negative energies. Yes. It's a time bomb, it's called, Henry. It's a time bomb.
Oh, Annie, I like that was you said as he said, Henry. It reminds me of the yin yang symbol. Right? You're balancing the masculine and the feminine. And maybe this is a curious question. I'm really asking this for everyone, right? Maybe us women going through menopause, if we've been taught to be compliant, to be agreeable, and then all of a sudden we have these, these chemicals and going against the grain of what we're taught to be or how to behave, and here's our partner going, who is this person, right? It's more of the, I would say, masculine coming up and being very direct when your partner's not used to receiving that type of feedback. I'm just curious what other people think about that, right? It's about balancing that yin yang, right? The masculine and feminine energy is.
I have another client that go through exactly that. Before menopause, they subservient is the wrong word. I don't know what
They were
word I'm
nice.
looking for. No, that's not the word. That's not it at all. I know you were going to say something stupid. No, it's just that they were willing to go along with anything to keep the peace. And when they enter into menopause and they realize, okay, maybe I'm in my 50s and I'm about to retire. So what is next for me? They realize, okay, what I put up with for so many years, I actually didn't like. I actually didn't agree with. And I don't want to continue this pattern because I'm going to be home more. I'm going to be with my partner more. Maybe it's the wrong partner I've paired with. You know, there's a lot of things that go through women's minds when they enter into midlife and menopause. And maybe they were with the wrong partner. Maybe it's like when Paula described, they don't understand the changes and they're taking it out on the partner. Or maybe they're just looking, okay, what's the next step? What's gonna bring me joy? What am I looking forward to? So there are a lot of questions, a lot of changes happening at the same time. So yes, a lot of our people, there's a lot of questions. Again, this is where working with a menopause coach can help you figure out these things and understand why these questions are coming up, and maybe prevent the divorce, maybe, or maybe you figure out, okay, this is not the person I'm meant to be with. Maybe it's time to move on. I describe a woman's life as being like a book, and it's different chapters. Not all the characters that started off at the beginning of the book make it to the end. You know, people come and go. People are there in your life maybe to teach you something or to show you something that you need to learn. There's so many things that go on, and we need to again give ourselves grace. Let ourselves be open and curious to what's going on and what messages we're getting and what lessons we have to learn to know, okay, what is the best step and what's the next step. And I like what Margaret talked about, the playtime. I tell clients, actually schedule that playtime. Put it in your calendar. The same way we schedule our meetings and our going to the gym and our doctor's appointments, schedule that playtime. It's important. It brings out that creativity, that curiosity, that joy, because maybe that playtime turns into a side hustle or a new hobby, or it's time to leave my job, or I have to retire. What's next? You never know where things could lead. So schedule that playtime, even if it's once a week, even if it's for 1 hour, even if you're involving your kids or your pets or whatever it is. Find the thing that brings you joy. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Nobody's going to die. We try something else until we find something that works for us.
But
I love
also,
this
Lisa, you
comment,
could do it
Adrian.
together. But you could
Yes.
also do it together, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, that's one of the things that you find when you have children. You might go in opposite directions and you come back again and you go back out again. And that's what marriage is like. Marriage is this kind of strange in and out kind of situation. And suddenly menopause and older, so you're getting into your 40s and 50s, and you're suddenly thinking, oh my gosh, is this the person I'm going to be spending the next 30, 40 years with, 20 years with in retirement? You know, we need to work out a few things here. Now, I'm a great believer in getting a book and a pen and saying, what do you like doing? Okay, what do you like doing? Let's find the common ground and let's go on a cooking course together. Let's do this together. Let's go dancing. If you want to go dancing, I'll go dancing, but only if you come rock climbing. Okay, I'll come rock climbing once, right? But you have to make these compromises that allow you both to see that there's still love there. The love is the connection. It's why you come back. Otherwise, when you're going in and out like this, running a family and looking after life, when you suddenly come back and it's like empty nest and it's just you two, it's like, oh, okay, look round. Who can I blame for anything else? I can't blame anyone else. It's just us two now, right? So get a dog is an answer, but you know, you need someone to blame for everything. And if it's your husband's the only person, you're going to have a very miserable time. So the answer is look at your list, look at my list, look at the friends we like together. Write a list of friends in the middle that we like, that we both like, that we'd like to invite round for dinner. And then we'll go cooking, go on a cooking course, and we'll cook for them. And suddenly you're creating this exciting thing. You're going to go and learn to cook together, and you're going to have a date night at your house with your friends who you both like. And all of a sudden you're creating something together. And I think that's kind of back to the menopause and back to everything. We can't blame the menopause for divorce. We can blame the menopause for not understanding what's happening to ourselves and not taking, not seeking out a Lisa, not seeking out an April, not seeking out somebody who can help you and advise you and not put you back on track, because you're not off track. You're just slightly off kilter, and you just need to reframe, work out what you can do, what you can't do, and find that common ground again, because something drew you together. You made babies together, you loved each other, and you love your children. And just think about what happens when your grandchildren come along and they're not going to be there, you can't be there. You know, there's so much goes on if you've got children and you're thinking to yourself, do I want this person? And actually, when you scratch the surface, no, but when you look a bit deeper, yes. And I think that's a big life lesson. And that's a great one, to write lists. Who do you like? Who don't you like? What do you like doing? What don't you like doing? Yeah. Find the things that you can common ground.
I think it's making the space for that conversation, Paulette. Making the space for that calm, reasonable, it's almost a negotiation, really. Say whereas now many people just freak out either way, and so before you know, everything's gone, everything has unraveled, and everyone's now miserable. We have to say, hey, hey, Trini, Lisa. If you didn't watch Lisa and Nick on their show, was it Noni's show? I think it was Noni's show. Yes, if you didn't watch that, then go and watch the replay. You're never going to laugh as much. And these two actually came to life. They actually came to as their real self. I was very shocked hearing Nick speak. Yeah, patois and pure patois as well. I'm like, wow, how does she do that? But she's a Trini girl, so there you go. What can I say, right? Ignore me. But I know if you haven't watched the replay, go and watch the replay. So Michelle says, thank you, April, and rightly so. Thank you, Paulette. Who's LinkedIn user? No, it could be Christiana. She might turn up sometime today. Let me see if it's Christiana. I won't know anyway because my screen has been very funny. And it might be on Lisa's LinkedIn. That's how we got this problem. Lisa's LinkedIn doesn't always show my StreamYard. Chirito's here as well. Welcome, Chirito. Good morning, BFF Lisa. And she mentioned me. How good is that? And everyone. I'll take it. That's good enough for me. Felipe says, really enjoying these insights, Lisa. And everyone. My wife is going to watch the replay. Yeah, one by one. As Nick says, no, the menopause and there's a time bomb. Yes, it is. It's a dangerous time for all. One has to know, to like I said, look at your relationship beforehand. I think maybe it's a thing that we should always look at our relationship along the way. Why wait till menopause when we can be having conversations, much earlier and through life? As if says, we'll drop happiness chemicals. We'll drop happiness chemicals and how to hack them. Peace in the comments. I might have read that wrong. Yeah, I knew it was Christian that was here. Have I missed anyone? I'm sure there's many more. Linda said something that's
Penny, did you say Ashif is selling happiness chemicals?
Yes.
I think they're called drugs.
No, it's got special happiness chemicals. I would not put Ashif down as a drug dealer, so that's my excuse, right? Linda says, as an Italian woman, my husband had to learn how to adapt very quickly to my many changing moods. Now I'm in my late 50s. I said it's been very well trained. We'll take it as long as the man has peace. It's all right. We'll take it, whatever that looks like. Yeah, Tara says, "Let's go, Lisa." Yeah, she didn't say me. Apparently, it's all right. I'll get over it. Welcome, Tara. Glad you're here. So Aaron is here as well. Of course, you made it. Thank you so much for joining us. So, there's never a time thing with our any of our events. If you make it, we're happy for every minute you spent with us. to David, to the other half of Tara, the Web3 people. So I'm glad you're here. Kelly, I'm glad you're here as well. So marriages definitely work, or you end up drifting apart, especially around menopause time. That's what we find. I think Adrian has a better idea, right? Yes, bring coffee and chocolate. I agree. Well, now, my son just buys flowers, which saves all of us a hassle. He buys flowers. I think the other day he came around, he's like, there are a few too many flowers in here. It looks like a funeral parlor. Because he's bought so many flowers. I get delivered randomly. I'm like, whatever. It's funny.
Mother's Day, you miserable toad.
No. There's at least four. There's at least 4 different loads of flowers. There's 4 flower pots. It's only one Mother's Day, and I got all confused. I got lost because there's US Mother's Day, there's UK Mother's Day, there's the rest of the world Mother's Day. I'm like,
and that's why he's gotten you to do a water fast, because he's just loving on you all, and you have to show him back that love.
I miss it completely. He went on Mother's Day just like, oh, I don't know. So Linda says chocolate will keep them out of trouble for sure. Yeah. Would that work? Would that work for you, Paulette? Yeah. Okay.
It's certainly can't do it.
I don't. I don't like the smell of chocolate ever since COVID, so
Really?
I've got a bit of a funny nose. Yeah.
Okay.
Smells
Wow.
like fish.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
UCL send me a thing every 3 months, and I have to fill it in because it's long COVID, and they said on it, they say, does your chocolate smell like fish? And it's like, yes, thank goodness I'm not mad. So it's not just me.
Oh no, Linda says, she had a conversation with her family. Nice chat with her. I think the kids get forgotten half the time, Lisa. I think the kids, especially when you got sons, we do kind of get freaked out and think, what's gone wrong? It's all gone wrong. And I think having that conversation is always useful. Otherwise everyone really gets stressed. Mum, dad, everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely important. Communication is the key to everything.
Yeah. So Lisa, Margaret says, is it possible if we embrace this part of ourselves that it will make a positive impact? Yeah, well, no, I think as Lisa said, it's a non-negotiable. Menopause is coming either way; it's going to happen, right? So we have to embrace it. I mean, what else can we do? And I think it can only have a positive impact. But finding that happy place where this family keeps working for everyone. And that's what we're trying to get to, right? Kelly, welcome. God, sorry, Lisa. Sorry.
I was just about to say, no. I was just about to say, people like Lisa don't just fall off trees. You have to go looking for them, right? So we're incredibly lucky we have Lisa, and we've now got April as well. That these are people that you can go to. You can get the help you need. Years ago, we didn't have people, and you wouldn't think of going to see a therapist or a counselor for menopause. You just suck it up and get on with it and be as miserable as sin, and everybody else will be too. But I think that's the part of us that's changed now. There is an acceptance that we will have a change. It's going to come. Be prepared for it. Make the necessary adjustments now. Seek the help from the experts. And I think that's the difference. When you've got people like Lisa and April that you can go to, you should. Why not? There's nothing to lose. There's everything to gain. And if you could give yourself a slightly less stressed life, and menopause is slightly less hard to get through, then goodness me, let's just sign up now. I'm sending them all to your way. Go, because that's what you need. We never had that, we never had it.
Yeah, don't come my way. Lisa is over there. And April's over there.
Way. No, your
Paul-
way.
Paulette's there too.
Definitely not any way.
No. Stay clear of me. I'm all right. Charity says, hello, Paulette. Hello, Margaret. That's nice to mention everyone. So, sorry if I made you feel bad. Ignore me. I'm making myself laugh. I'm here for humor more than anything else. Kelly says you have to work on your relationship throughout the entire relationship, which is true. That's the truth. A lot of people forget that. And maybe I will say the issues in many marriages is not just around. It's not around menopause only. I was said earlier. Many of the issues are there long before. Just now they were never addressed, and now it's come to a head. So hello, lovely Chorito. What I can't see this one properly. My eyesight looks funny every so often. I'm already fiery. Oh God, goodness me. God help us. God help my husband when that time comes. Now look, follow Lisa and April's advice. And Paulette's have the conversations and smooth out your fieriness. Please, for your sake, for everyone's sake. Coach Brenda Lee's glad you're here. I think that's a message to Lisa. Have I missed anyone? I don't think I have. Michelle says, Margaret says, I agree, Kelly. It should definitely be worth the effort. I'm sure that was putting effort into your relationship. Have I missed anyone? That shift. Let's do that. Already shared in the comments. These chemicals can make you can make from within. So it's not drugs, Paulette. Hormone replacement? I don't know.
Hormone replacement therapy certainly helps. So I'm all for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll take that, right? Who have I missed? Christiana, we'll see you now. Margaret and Charita, it's been a minute since we spoke. What's this? It's been a minute. Some say it's been a while. Is that what the minute means? It's been a while? Or is it really a minute? Dr.
No,
Roxana,
it means a while.
Welcome. Okay. So Nick loves her coffee and chocolate. Paulette just loves her coffee. That would just keep Paulette happy.
I do.
Coffee.
Coffee, no chocolate, no fish. No. I will tell you something weird though. We were around our friend's house on Friday night, and her husband said she said something to her husband, and he said, "You need to go and rub some of that gel on." It was the weirdest comment at the dinner table, right? The weirdest comment ever. What? And then I just sort of went, dare I ask? Like that, how you're not sure. And she said,
try not to.
I've got some hormone gel and it stops me being grumpy. I rub it in my thighs. And she said, whenever I tell him off now, he says, go and put some of that gel on. But it makes everybody laugh who's in the joke. We're now in the joke. We can laugh. But yeah, go and put some of your gel on, you miserable moo,
Yeah, so I like this question, Christiana's funny question. So was it you, Paulette? Yes, you. If chocolate smells like fish, what does fish smell like for you? Does fish smell like fish? Or,
I can't stand it. Fishy. It's fishy. Yeah, really fishy. Really strong fishy.
Fish smells even more fishy than chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like being in a fish market. That's strong.
Surprise that one. Surprise. Yeah. Now, Lisa, this one's for you. What does menopause do to the heart? Outside the emotional result when it affects some parts of your body. I can't help you, Lisa. Help. April, help.
So menopause raises our risk for heart disease, cardiovascular disease. Cardio means heart, vascular means blood vessels. So just the hormonal fluctuations and losing that estrogen puts us at risk for heart disease. So this is why diet becomes important. This is why lifestyle changes becomes important. So reducing things like red meat reduces the risk for heart disease. So menopause literally, like she said, literally affects your heart. as soon as we enter into menopause, our risk for heart disease shoots up and is higher than a man's risk, like shoots up considerably, exponentially. So this is why working on your diet and getting good sleep and reducing stress. So this is why conversations with people like April becomes important. Reducing that stress really reduces our risk for heart disease during menopause. So great question, Trito.
Yeah, Dr. Roxana, I'm going to come to you in a second, if that's all right. And Felicia
Okay, give
says
me some
yours.
time. Let me
Okay,
fix some stuff, okay? I'm coming. Hope
excellent.
everybody's doing well.
That's all right. And so Lisa going to carry
Okay.
on talking, I'm sure.
Okay.
You're all too funny. It doesn't mean
And
me.
and going about the heart, Lisa, is that
Sorry.
also, from my understanding, like heart arrhythmia happens too because of the sympathetic nervous system is more heightened and we experience more heart palpitations.
Heart palpitations, you can feel a pressure on your chest.
Yes.
And the symptoms of, let's say, a heart attack can be slightly different to a man. So let's say on movies, we're accustomed to seeing people clutch their chest when they're having a heart attack. For women, it's good. And I'll do a show separately on heart disease because it's important. But we can experience different symptoms. So we can feel nauseous. We can feel sudden heightened anxiety. We can feel a pain in our back. So it's not going to necessarily present as what we traditionally see on TV, like a great pain in our chest. No, it can look and feel quite different. Pain in our neck, pain in the back, pain between the shoulder blades. So again, knowing your symptoms, knowing what you're accustomed feeling, journaling what you're currently experiencing, so that when you go to the doctor, you have information to take and say, listen, I've been having these pains between my shoulder blades ever so often. What do you think it is? So that they know what tests to run, what blood tests, what if you need to see a cardiologist, they know what direction to go in. Yeah.
For sure. And then just also, as Paulette was saying, like start now, start implementing some sort of mindfulness or meditation or diet practice. Start that now, so that way you have a better set point, right? That you're able to regulate. It's self-regulation, really, for your nervous system to bring you back quicker than going through this kind of menopause vortex, if you will. You don't have to go so far and so deep into it. You can choose what rocks you're going to put in your pack, as Paulette said in the beginning. And those that just joined in, I highly recommend re-listening, right, for the beginning, so you know what we're talking about. But it's so important, isn't it, to implement resources now. And it's really about investing in yourself for the future too, and making those meaningful relationships. I love that, because many of you probably don't know that I'm a full-time RVer and I travel across the nation with my husband. So we sold our home. We don't have a home. We're in a fifth wheel camper, which is 41 feet long. Very small space, people, with the love of my life. And I remind myself, like, what was it that I really appreciate about him? How can I bring it back instead of focus? It's so easy, right? When we have these hot flashes and these emotions happening with the menopause, to focus on what's going wrong. I focus on what's going well. What's going well today? What is it that he does that makes me feel supported, or remembering what sparked, that love between us, and really appreciating that too. And I like to bring that into my meditations as well, so I can see glimpses of it throughout the day and go, there he is. I know he's in there. So it is about that relationship. It really is. And also the relationship to ourselves, first and foremost, because if we don't build that relationship with ourselves, then how can we show up for others or have that same appreciation and love for others? Because as within, so without, we are the ripple effect.
And that is so sweet.
Just
That is
love
so
that.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Lisa, you have a conversation to be having with Linda. Linda says, "Love and need, Lisa." Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I know we're running out of time. So let's give Professor Roxana a chance to speak before, because we're gonna have to wrap up in a bit.
I'm sorry I came
hold
late.
on. Ashif is still talking. I come, Dr.
Okay.
Roxana, you're gonna
All
have the
right.
mic.
Okay.
As men, we should remember where we came from and who took care of us. Understand the appreciation and respect. They all need it. I agree, Ashif. Me and Ashif, we're on a wavelength today, right? It's more telepathic.
Ashif is just dropping gems left, right, and center. I mean, geez. Wow.
Dr. Roxana, the mic is yours.
Oh yeah. I'm already thank you so much for giving me the mic though. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Paulette. Thank you, April and Annie. Well, thank you. I don't intend to be on the mic or on the chair for a long time, but mindfulness and relaxation helps a lot when you are stressed. And sometimes I don't meditate a lot, but I know how to. I pray, or I have some there's a website that I just log into YouTube, and there are people who pray, and I can be listening to their prayers. They help a lot. And physical activities, as much as I can do. So just as much as I can do, I can just lift small weights or walk on treadmill or just walk around my backyard when I cannot go to the gym, because everybody kind of gets that stress once in a while. And then my husband is here and is retired. It's we kind of have also one of our children, but there are times you still need your own time. I don't know about, you still need your own time, your me time, relaxation time. It doesn't have to be with anybody. But when I do have to have some time with him, then we do. Or we can FaceTime the kids. There's a way those grandkids will be laughing or asking you some funny questions. You kind of relax though. So a whole lot of things in our lives at this age. I don't know about you, but I know I have seen some years. But anyway, so trying to remember to relax. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's going to be all right. So I think I'm done. I don't want to take so much of your time. Thank you, Lisa, for letting me speak. I know I'm late. I was
You're
actually
never
napping.
late. You're
I
never
was
late. You're never
I
late.
was napping. I was taking a nap.
No,
I was
look, I
taking a
think
nap.
that's one thing I would love to ask Lisa and April. Does sleeping put you make you less stressed?
Absolutely. Taking those naps, Roxana, I love it. I love that you take a nap, because then that automatically resets, right? The nervous system and allows our bodies to restore the energies naturally. Now, there's a difference between a nap and getting in the bed and not being able to get out and having long bouts of sleep. That's different. That's
Not in the
more of,
afternoon, though.
yeah, that's more of the lower energy and not being able to get up and going. So taking little naps throughout the day, I say, yay, keep doing that. You're doing it right.
Yeah. I had to
Lisa, what do
work
you
today. I
think?
went to work. I had to talk to students, teach. So I came back. I had to crash. But anyway, thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate that.
you.
Yeah, I think taking naps can be quite beneficial. It's like a little reboot to the system, to your soul, you know. But the idea of sleep should be restful sleep and quality sleep. Many clients they fall asleep but they wake up tired, and it's because they're not getting that restful sleep, going through those sleep cycles. So those are things that it may be something that you have to work on. Sometimes I do send clients to a sleep specialist because they may have a deeper issue like sleep apnea or snoring heavily, and that again raises your risk for heart disease. So this is why it's important where we just don't say, okay, well, we're not getting enough sleep, we're waking up tired, and we brush it off. Not getting enough sleep means you're not repairing properly. You're not using those nutrients in the right way, and it could set you up for a higher risk of heart disease. So this is where working with someone who sees the body holistically, and that's what I do. I look at your nutrition, your mindset, and your physical activity, along with sleep and stress. And this is why we invite people like April, and I'm seeing Brenda Lee's in the crowd, inviting these different coaches to talk about these different aspects, because all of it affects menopause. So, Professor Roxana, you know, you're not late. You appeared just when you needed to appear on the show to bring that knowledge. And I like that you talked about that spiritual aspect as well. Whatever your higher power, whatever name you give that person, universe, it doesn't matter. Connecting to something higher than yourself can bring that purpose, can reduce that stress. So tapping into that aspect of your life could be quite beneficial as well. So thank you for sharing that. Really thank you for that.
We're working towards the end now, right? Michelle says, when your gut is healthy, you can hear any organ. I agree, Michelle. When my gut was
everything
hungry,
starts in the gut.
Everything felt wrong. Be careful with those emojis, Michelle. I don't know what they mean anymore. You know, watch Paulette's replay of a mental wellness room yesterday. Then you might get the idea.
Oh my gosh! Let's not repeat.
I think Brenda is talking about working on your relationship. Just say by practicing it now, you build the muscle memory, the neuroplasticity you need. And it's much easier to tap into that. If we start a conversation earlier rather than waiting, you know, till the crisis moment, then that's never the wisest idea, is it? Linda says, pain, body aches. Yes. Good luck. Good. Well, Lisa, that's there you go. No, you can definitely help.
Yep,
so
that's quite normal. One of the many things that could go wrong with your body. I like what Brenda Lee said though. And that goes for any good habit you're trying to build. It means you have to be consistent for it to stick, to build that muscle memory so that you don't have to think about it consciously to do it. So any habit you're trying to build it means being consistent, sticking to it, having a little more discipline and seeing the good results, and then that motivation sort of kicks in to help you keep going. But asking yourself that question, why am I doing this? Why is it important? What am I trying to achieve in my life now? What's important to me? All those questions can help you keep going with whatever you're trying to achieve.
You need more power naps, Paulette. Why don't you have more power naps? I have to try and encourage you to just fall asleep.
I think what you need is why I haven't fallen asleep yet. You behave.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, why is it that you stop yourself? Why is it that I'm accepting this stress, right? It could be something that is absolutely nothing to do with you, but you're taking it on board. Yeah, I think that's one of the key whys. Why am I even giving this? Why am I even giving this headroom? Why am I giving this headspace? And if you can get to the stage where you're strong enough character to say, I don't need this. This is not mine. I'm not accepting it. Then the stress stops there, or part of it. You know, there's always something else coming around the corner, But if we can stop layering it, there's more chance of us being on top of it. As Brenda Lee says, practice these things with intention. And then when there is a problem, it's so easy to go straight back there because you've been there, you've experienced it, you've got the memory and the muscle memory to know where to go back to. And if it's breathing, oh my gosh, if you can get both of you on breathing, then suddenly, instead of you both falling out, you both go off and have a private little moment. You're all winners. You're all winners. And you come back and you're like, do you feel better? Yeah, I feel better. Yeah, great. Now, where were we? And you can now talk to each other without all that anger and heat. And I think that is something that is really powerful. And on that note, I'm going to love and leave you. So I'm going to say goodbye, everybody. It's been a pleasure. And I will see you, because otherwise I really will fall asleep and embarrass myself. So
We're literally
bye,
5
everyone.
minutes away.
Bye.
Thank you,
All right.
Paulette.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye.
Lisa. Love you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Lovely to meet you, April, properly.
Yes. Oh, wow. That was a lot that she unpacked with that. And it's amazing when we can step back, right? When we apply practices to regulate our nervous systems, then we can really have a good responsive, a good connection with our loved ones, with our coworkers, with our boss, whomever. We don't have to go around saying, oh, it's this menopause and all the things that we say is going wrong. We put ourselves in the driver's seat with that. And one of my go-tos is meditation. And as you said so perfectly, Roxana, about prayer, right? The power of prayer and connecting with whomever our higher power is, we believe are to be. You can go deeper, right? With meditation with that. Is it okay if I share a link now, Lisa? I heard Annie said we're kind of getting to the end. I do have.
Please do.
I do have a.
If you want to share in the comments, feel free, or else otherwise on the comments page.
So share it on LinkedIn. I'm not sure. StreamYard is kind of funny.
Okay,
so you can explain what I think you have a program as well.
Yes, so I'm going to share it in the private chat here so you can pick it out and share it on LinkedIn, because I'm not on LinkedIn right now. Is that okay, Lisa?
Perfect.
So
okay, great.
With that power of prayer, it does bring us into a deeper presence. And so I offer a restorative meditation with Reiki. And so Reiki is a form of prayer. It's a Japanese technique that brings us into a deeper state to relax our minds and bodies, and really enhances our emotional, physical, and mental states. And so that's something free that I offer every month. That's me being of service. And that link there that Lisa's sharing in the comments is to my website. It takes you directly to the event where you can register to receive the Zoom link, because it is a private link. Okay. I see it. People have asked me, can you make it on YouTube? Can you make it live? And for me, it's more of a private space that I create, a sanctuary with the Reiki, to walk people into a very gentle, guided, easy space to where they can relax and receive more of what it is that they are wanting in their lives. So that's the restorative meditation with Reiki that I offer. And also, I'm very excited, talking about breath work, to be part of the Biodynamic Breathwork and Trauma Release Institute. And I'm going to have a free live event through them on Friday. And that is going to be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is a space to learn how to be with a connected breath. And in this space, this is where we can release and ease, melt those outer layers of tension. Just being aware of what's showing up in our bodies, as I shared in the very beginning, how amazing our bodies are. It holds everything for us. But are we pausing? Are we like an instant pot, like the quick valve release, right? Releasing that pressure, releasing that tension. When are we doing that? So that biodynamic breathwork and trauma release event is going to be in on Friday. Sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked. I don't know if you can share that, Lisa, in the
Can I
comments.
ask a quick question?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it include breathing, deep breathing? Does it include that?
Yes, it's a connected breath. So it's not the quick, like, like you get out of your body breath. It is a connected breath where you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth in more of a rhythm, and just being aware of what tensions you're feeling in your body. And then I walk you through how to touch into those pressure points and move your body, allow that to release. And then also inviting in ways for you to have, like, maybe even an emotional expression that comes up. So this is all ways to get into your body to help release and find that essence within yourself. That's so important. That's what sets biodynamic breathwork apart from other breathwork practices, is being in that connection. As oh my goodness, her name is escaping me. I'm looking for it. I see Michelle a lot. Brenda Leese talking about the neuroplasticity, right? And so when we build that connection with our body and building new neural pathways of how we want to choose to respond in a situation, we're actually building that resiliency to stress within our nervous system too. So the biodynamic breathwork is amazing for that as well. And I do offer one-on-one sessions for that. But check out that free event. I mean, why not? Show up, and people all over the world show up for these events. It's amazing. I had an event in Bali, Reset and Restore Your Mind and Body, in November. And it was beautiful space to be. Another event that I'm offering, I know I have a lot happening, and I appreciate you guys being here with me through all this, is the Tomo Tour. So those of you who are interested in exploring Japan and in the rich culture there is a Tomo means friend in Japanese. And so I'm doing a Tomo tour. So we're spending 10 amazing days in Japan, starting in Tokyo. Then we go to Kyoto. If you're interested and open to Reiki, again, we're going to Mount Kurama, where Usui Makao founded Reiki there. And we're going to have an experience there. But if that's not your cup of tea, so to speak, you can go on your own adventure in Kyoto. There's plenty to see, plenty to do there. And we're taking the Shinkansen, the bullet train, to and from Tokyo to Kyoto, which is a magical ride if you haven't had a chance to explore that. And also my Japanese friends will be there because I lived in Japan for 10 years. So they're going to be part of the Tomo Tour. So this is the friendship, right? The Americans and Japanese getting together for this amazing event to explore. So you can check out all that information through my website. I'm just excited to expand and invite those who are interested and open to receive more for themselves in life, because that's what we want. We want to feel more joy, happiness, and peace. And why not start somewhere, right? And make that choice, choosing you today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I like to say your name. Is it Ashif? Is it okay if I say Ashif? Haji? Is that your
Yeah.
name? No?
No.
I'm
No.
sorry.
No, right. So that's my fault.
Okay,
Right.
I'm
So
sorry.
that's my fault. Now, this is April. This is April. So let me
April.
take this
Okay,
April
April.
stage.
It's April.
Okay,
Yeah.
I said the name before, so
Let
I
me
will
take this.
check it
There
out.
we go.
April. Okay, that's right
There you
now.
go.
Here I am.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay, so I'll
you.
check it out if I have time on Friday, because I know I scheduled some things on Friday. I haven't been to. I need to get to my calendar and see what I scheduled already, and
Oh, I
see if
would.
I can check that out. But it's
Yeah, I would
good.
love to see you there. And if not, there's other free events too. Through that link, it's going to take you to the Biodynamic Breathwork website, and then you can choose. You can sign up so that way you'll get alerted when the events are on. So they have them every Friday evening and Sunday in the afternoon.
Okay.
So that way, Australasia is Friday, and then European is Sunday. So
I know
plenty of
Friday, Sunday will
opportunities.
not work, but Friday might work. So let's
Uh,
just, yeah, let's
no
and I'll check
worries.
it out. So see if I have been to some others, but I'll check your own out. See if that's. I'll keep learning and
Ah,
establish.
that's what we do throughout our whole entire lives, right? Is
Exactly. Keep
evolving and
learning.
learning. We do that until the last breath we take. So
Yeah.
love meeting you, Roxana.
Yeah.
I love meeting you too. April, thank you so much, Lisa, for connecting us. It's good to
Yes.
see you
You're
and meet
welcome.
you.
So we'll put those links in the chat, unless any has done that already.
You got
Okay.
well, you got two there so far. I'm trying to work out the
Oh,
last one.
Okay,
I put the one in the
I'll put the
private.
last one. Yeah, I have it in my private chat. In my yeah,
Okay.
I'll be there. Don't worry.
All
Okay.
right.
We will put it. So we're over time and about another meeting to go
Surprise,
to.
surprise, surprise,
Yeah,
surprise,
but
Lisa.
that's okay.
Surprise.
We were having fun
Yeah.
and we were getting such great information and great questions and lots of lovely comments. So, well, first, thank you for everyone who came on stage and shared. A special thank you for April for giving of your time and giving us these free resources. What you do is amazing, and I've followed you for quite a while. So, you giving back to the community is always a great thing, and I appreciate that. So, thank you so much. For everyone who came live, really appreciate you spending your time with us. As I always say, you could spend your time anywhere else, and you chose to be here. So I'm really grateful and honored that you chose to do that. Thank you to Paulette and Annie for being my ride or die.
Co-hosts. Your co-hosts.
Yeah, my ride or die
It's
co-host.
always fun. It's always fun with you guys. You just never know what's going to come up, and that's what's fun
Yeah,
about it. Thank
yeah,
you,
this is
Annie, and
always a great
Paulette,
show.
and Lisa. This has been
Yeah,
a
thank you
blessing.
again,
Thank you.
April,
Thank you,
and
April. You're the
thank
star,
you.
April. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
a couple more comments for you, Lisa. Well, look, I don't know whether I'm too late. If you what, there's someone still on your YouTube, April. So if you're on April's YouTube or mine, please like today's video. This video that we're
Yes.
watching now.
Did you
And
see? I liked.
right,
I commented
comment,
on your video in
excellent,
the
and then
afternoon. Yeah,
subscribe. You haven't
but
subscribed to
you
April's
never
channel.
reply though. You never reply.
I haven't
I don't
got,
know why.
I'm a
She's
celebrity.
calling you out,
I'm an
Annie.
Oh my
influencer.
goodness.
Calling
I
you
get
out.
all these messages from YouTube. I'm just like, I'm too busy. I can't cope.
Oh my
No,
It's
you
not
goodness.
have to
true.
reply so
It's not
to
true.
encourage
Your
people
people
who are
want you. Your people want to reply, Annie.
yeah. So
Okay.
that
um,
next
All right.
time I will comment again.
yes,
Okay.
encourage
All
them to
right.
comment.
I will reply tonight. I
Yeah.
see them. I'm just like, thanks, 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 thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
thank
lazy.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you
Anyway,
everyone for being
look,
here.
power
Okay.
naps are good for you, Lisa. But restful sleep helps you heal faster than medication. See, another
Yes.
gem by shift there.
And
The important.
remember, what you go to bed with is what you're going to wake up with. So
Mm,
Yeah.
as soon as you put your head on the pillow, think what went well. Take
mm,
some deep breaths in, feel that feeling of gratitude. That will definitely help, but it does take practice.
Yeah, definitely. So I tell my clients to write 3 things they're grateful for the day, and that's what they focus on as they go to bed, so that they wake up more positive, which also means you're experiencing those menopausal symptoms less. So again, it all goes hand in hand.
And you might create a happy, a happy situation that you actually do want to happen when you do
Yeah.
get up. Things do happen. You would do manifest that situation. So
Yes,
there's every
definitely.
For
reason
sure.
to think of what you want and the
Yeah.
good things that happened in your day. Meditation and prayer, very healing indeed. And I've learned to meditate pretty much every day. So
Yeah.
it's a good way to start your day. Charito, thank you so much for your kind words. Nothing to do with me. So this room is filled with the most beautiful, all the beautiful people on LinkedIn I've ever met. That's all of you, not me. It's fine.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we do have a good LinkedIn community, I must say.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. They're all lovely people. And
Yes.
you are all lovely. It's not they, you are all lovely people. Because you are the
And you
ones
were
that make
lovely.
We are all lovely
Annie,
people,
you're
including you,
you
Annie.
are,
Also,
you
Just
are,
being
you are.
difficult today.
Annie, including Annie.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If that's a
So
Thank
blush,
you
don't blame
all.
I'm
me.
going to close off the show because we're going to stay here forever. But see you all next 2 weeks for another conversation about menopause. And if you or someone is struggling with any menopausal symptoms, feel free to leave a comment. I read all the comments and respond to them, or you could send me a direct message, and let's just have a conversation and see how I can support you and get you back to where you want to be in your life.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you so
Look,
much.
go on the comments yourself. Go on the event page and go to comments yourself and respond to engage with some comments and connect to people that you want to connect with. Don't just leave these rooms by just showing up and going.
That's
Connect.
how I met Annie.
Yeah,
Yes,
did.
exactly. That's
True
how I met
story.
half the people. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it
Comment
works. It
and
works.
share with each other. Yeah.
Look, thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Wow.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. Achieve success with global.media.